for invasion. This is Indie Invasion.
Wonder Twin powers.
Wonder Twin powers activate. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Indie Invasion Shorts. We've been off for 2 weeks, man.
Yes, we got to knock the rust off here.
Yeah.
Because it's been a little while since we've done just kind of a short. So normal, straight up, let's talk about some cool stuff. We've been doing a lot of hobby stuff, which is fine. That's fun. It's like a throwback to the old days, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we thought of when we were thinking, okay, we need to talk about something. What are we going to talk about?
Yeah.
And I brought up this topic tonight. I was like, you know what? I did kind of a generic opening, but we never dove into the actual nitty gritty of this game.
Yeah. Doug, what's happening?
What's up,
Doug? I'm excited. I actually haven't done a back room yet with Black Site. Not because I don't like the games, quite the contrary. I love Don't Look Back. Big fan of Violent Dark. Got a lot. I've got most of the stuff for Violent Dark. Bought a bunch of the stuff that was on sale too when they were doing the minis on sale, like the replicant models and all that stuff. But the biggest reason I haven't is I don't have anyone to play any of the games. And now that I have a 3D printer, my backlog is so huge anyway, I don't need to add to that.
Well, the nice thing is that you can get it whenever. So it's not like you're missing out on anything. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, really, really great stuff. I'm excited to see what's in the box. And Eric and I were talking before we got started actually too about size of minis. So we'll kind of mention some of that while we're talking too, as we've seen over the past few years, scale creep really as miniatures become less and less miniature.
Yeah, so, they kind of want to stand out and be unique from the rest of the crowd, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I see it as. And it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And in our opening banter here, what have you been working on? We've been hobbying quite a bit lately.
Hobbying a lot of it. I've been working on.
What have you been working on? Ooh, look, my camera's moving.
My clowns.
Oh yeah, have you gotten any more work done on those?
A little bit. I did a little bit more on him. I started doing some of the smaller details on him. Actually, I could do this too.
Oh, look at there. That's mucho better.
So yeah, a little bit on him.
I'm liking him.
A little more on him. I gave him the dirty white.
It's definitely getting that Pennywise look.
Yeah, that one totally looks like Pennywise. And then, I put together some of the other ones. So I put together, what did I call these ones? Tweedledee and what?
Tweedledee and Tweedledee.
Yeah, Tweedledee. So I put them together. I still got to do the Harlequin one that's like Harley Quinn.
Right.
I'm trying to decide, do I want just like a regular head or do I want the actual head with it, because they give you a little bit of choices, which is kind of
okay.
And those are from Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk Red.
Yeah.
So
I'm enjoying painting those because they're kind of like they remind me of Burrows and Badgers. There's not a whole lot to the actual modeling and putting them together. You don't have to glue on a million pieces,
right?
But you can get them built and primed and get going pretty quick. So.
Well, I have been, and do not ask me why, because I don't know that anyone is going to play with me. But I've started redoing my Night Lords for 40K, but cool. I'm doing Battlefleet Gothic. So I've got all I'm doing is my Orc fleet and my Chaos fleet. So that's sort of like a callback to my old first iteration of.
That's cool. That's all 3D print that you're doing?
Yep, these are all 3D prints, and I'm just building a Chaos and an Orc fleet.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe I'll use them in Billion Suns or something like that. But the luxury of having the printer, I actually still have my box set from way back in the day. So I still have my box set in my original rule book. So I'm just printing ships. I have a couple of ships left over. Over the years, I've lost them. I actually have one right here. This is an OG original plastic.
Oh, it's plastic. Okay.
Yep, plastic Battlefleet.
Did they make them metal at one time too?
Yeah, most of them were metal, but the ones that came in the box set were plastic kits. A lot of the little stuff broke off, and I would do stuff like these right here.
Oh yeah,
paper clips. I would do all of mine with paper clips so they wouldn't break, but so that they would stab you horribly when you went to grab them. But they would not break. That was the important thing. So I've been working on that. I printed some burrows and badgers. Not really. Whoop, camera got all fuzzy. Not really burrows and badgers, but I just found some really cool anthropomorphic animals. Printed some of them up. They were really cool. Just doing it for fun. And
you've been busy, it sounds like.
Well, you start the printer. Hold on. Did that work? Nope. I think my camera's dirty too. Let me just, there we go. Let's see that.
Just like Mom used to do.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with my lighting and my blurry. And so it, like you said, we're out of practice, right? I haven't even had my camera set up or anything. But I'm actually going to play a game this weekend. My son's coming over, and I'm finally going to learn to play Shatterpoint.
Okay.
So I'm printing a couple of barriers and objectives and a couple things like that for our game on Saturday. And I'm looking forward to playing it because I know, or I've heard it runs moderately similar to Crisis Protocol, and I really like that rule set. So I'm excited about that too.
That's cool. Yeah, it's supposed to be a fast game too, so you can play, get it to the table and play different scenarios.
Yeah, I hope
quickly. So
I hope so. And I've got everything painted up except for one model, my Ahsoka. I just couldn't bring myself to do the detail on her head, so I was like, my son has one painted. I don't want to use her anyway. I'm going to use Count Dooku and Ventress. So
yeah.
Go stand over there. I don't care.
Those are kind of cool models.
Yeah.
So, well, that'll be fun. Yeah, I looked into it, but it's one of those things. Who am I going to play it with, type of thing. So yeah. But
I do love Crisis Protocol, man. That's a fun game.
Yeah, that one's fun. I like I don't want to say it's simple rules, but simplicity of the rules, so it's easy to comprehend, and you're not constantly looking up rules, that type of thing. I like that about the game. So
definitely well. Now, what you have to do after this unboxing is read through these rules, because in my experience, which is interesting from Black Site Studios, since it's different guys writing the rules. Mm-hmm. This one's Corey, right?
Yeah, this is Corey.
Okay. So even though it's different dudes writing the rules, they all kind of flow, not the same, but they're not overly complex.
Yeah.
None of them are overly complex. They're easy to understand. Maybe that's their editing process as they come through Black Site, but whatever it is, it's great. All of the games that I've played have been like that. So happy about that. Anyway, take us to your box, sir.
Okay. Well, let me throw up some banners if anybody is interested. So what we're going to be doing is we're looking at mobile arms, and I did get a little bit of a sneak peek of this way long ago at Adepticon. Corey kind of gave me a quick demo of it.
Of course.
And I mean, it's a skirmish mech game where, you can have 2 or more players. You don't have very many models on the table. And it's got some of the concepts that we've seen in other mech games, like overheating and stuff like that. So you have that risk and reward type of thing, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I wanted to actually dive into this because we haven't done this yet. So
no, you haven't even opened a lot of it, have you?
No, I just unboxed it. I did do some of the other modeling I did one of the models in here just to check it out. It's pretty cool. I'll save it for last to show you guys this big chunky boy. But let's go over here. You know what? I might actually just do this. Boop.
Oh, now it looks like I'm doing the unboxing. Okay, so what we have here is a box. It's in Illinois. I'm in South Carolina. I'm not really sure how I'm going to open it. Oh, look, there's my hands. Okay, we're doing a fantastic.
But, yeah, so this is the core rule box, which I like core rule boxes. They give you all the stuff. You get rules. You get your chits, templates. It's got dice, different cards in here. Let's see. Measuring gauges. Yeah, all kinds of stuff in here. Blueprint, module, and pilot cards. So, yeah, I wanted to dive into it and just show off what you guys what you get. The rule book, we'll kind of flip through it. So very cool artwork too. It's very anime. So if you guys are into anime. But yeah, and then you get these little point of interest tokens.
Now, what are those, like objective markers?
I think these are objective markers.
Hey, come on. You got to show us who packed it. I love the Black Site Studios packing cards. Who packed?
Brittany packed this one for me.
Okay, awesome.
I think I have all of the cards too at this point.
I should have all of them for all the terrain that I've bought. So don't get me wrong. I like Black Site Studios games, but I have massive amounts of the terrain. So there you go. Look at that. Brittany, the MVP.
We have cool dice here, with the symbols, very similar to like X-Wing almost, right?
Are those engraved or are they just drawn on?
They're actually engraved, which is kind of nice. Because I've had dice where, it's just printed on there and they wear off.
They do. That's why I'm not a fan of the ones printed on. It's like I don't want to use them because I know they're going to rub off.
And I think they do sell these separately. So if you want more dice sets, you don't have to share them type of thing.
You don't like sharing, Eric? Is that what you're saying? You don't like sharing?
Well, yeah, I don't want to get your bad juju on it.
You definitely don't want mine. It's been a long time since I did a battle report, but nobody believed me about my rolls until I posted that Burrows and Badgers battle report.
So these ones here are very similar to, like we said, Crisis Protocol. X-Wing uses these are your movement things. There's a long one, a medium, short, so you don't have to measure. I like that.
Now, I want to tell you something funny about that is becoming a lot more prevalent. I've noticed a Crisis Protocol, Shatterpoint, this, but that's actually a really old system, and I'm sure it predates even what I'm about to say. But Song of Blades and Heroes has been using the short, medium, long move since its inception. It's we've talked before about Deep Wars and Shadow Sea on here that use the Song of Blades and Heroes rule set, and it's always used the short, medium, long movement rule set, and I absolutely love that. And depending on how long those are, you might be able to use the Song of Blades and Heroes movement template. It's a triangle that's got the three sides on it.
Yeah, you might be able to. So I like that. Simple as that. Just put it on the base and move your guy.
Yep. Love that. Now, I see you gave a little sneak peek, a big chunky boy, huh?
Yep. Quick peek at them. Okay, so there's tokens. There's little tokens for fire, I think, and all that. Let's look at some cards. So these cards, I think, are how you make up your rigs. They have your different pilots with abilities and stuff like that on there. So, like this is a pilot, and it's got your, when you push it type of thing, you're taking heat.
Okay.
Before you have to rust type of thing. So all your information you need is on the card, which is nice. And then you can flip it. So, these are all just the different.
Those are pilot cards right there.
I think this is like how many shields you have per, your front, your sides, and your back.
Okay. 3, 2, 2, 1.
Yeah. So, and I think they changed just based on, what kind of.
So far, the cards look pretty standard. I mean, it doesn't look like there's any difference in any of those particular ones. I saw some extra armor or health boxes on one of those. Probably that big chunky.
Yeah. And then these are your weapons. Yeah. Overheated.
Okay.
Passive abilities, different abilities they do. So there's a lot of these that you can custom.
So I'm guessing somewhere out there's already an STL made for holding all those cards.
Yeah, probably.
For your dashboard for your guy.
There's some more. Yeah, these are kind of nice. These are standard playing card sizes. And then here's some pilots, so you can take different pilots, have different abilities. Yeah, they have a surge ability. So surge is like symbols on the dice. When you roll a bunch of them, you can, like here, you roll 3 of those little bolt things, you can trigger this ability, which is kind of cool.
Engineer, gunner, spotter.
And I think there's more than just this in the game too.
Okay.
I think there's already some different like little add-ons and expansions and stuff like that. Okay. So there's some just a quick look at those. Let's look at the rule book. Since I've got a nice big camera so you can see it.
Oh yeah. And it's just a little that's not even really an A4. I don't know what that is size wise.
Yeah. It's a little smaller than an A4, I think, because it's square.
Yeah.
Which is nice, you can throw it in your bag easier. A little bit of some fluff there talking about the different the world a little bit, and I think a lot of this you can find on the website. Building a frame, so they talk about your blueprint, mobility.
Gotcha.
All the different modules for upgrading, and I like the models. They have like little slots for magnets, so you can swap out weapons, which is kind of cool.
That's super cool. I digress here, but I'm also really excited for the fact that Blacksite Studios is doing the second edition of This Is Not a Test.
Yeah. I think is that still going, or did it just end?
You know what? I'm not sure. I'm on the website right now.
If Doug's in the chat, he'll chime in probably.
14 days, 13 hours, 11 minutes, and 25, 24, 23, 22 seconds.
Got quite a bit of time then.
Yep. Got plenty of time. Got a couple weeks to still get in on that. And This Is Not a Test that's an Aces game, man. That's Alder loves that game. That's his favorite post. Oh, look, and there he is. There's Alder right there.
What's up, Alder?
Favorite post-apocalyptic game.
And here's the dice. They talk about the strike symbols, surge symbols, heat symbols. So you can actually roll heat, which is kind of interesting. And then, it's like they have a little chart. You can use regular dice too if you want. They show you the conversion, line of sight, attacks and damage. So, it's very straightforward, which is kind of cool. Some cool art. So, this game, if you have mechs already, it's just a matter of knowing the base size and putting your guys on that. And I think they have a lot of this stuff online that you can download.
Right. So they've got some digital bundles, $15 for the digital product core rules bundle. Looks like you can download the STLs for all of the frames as well.
Okay.
I'm looking at those right now. $15. Not bad. Between 12 and $15, which really isn't bad when you a lot of times, I know when I first started printing, you look at something like that and you go, well, man, that's really expensive because you're used to seeing stuff for $5 or $6. But the truth is, I mean, you print it twice and you've easily made your money back. You know what I mean? It's like you mirror it once so that you've got a slightly different pose and you've made your money hand over fist with it. You know what I mean? So it's definitely worth it. And especially if you look at like the cost of the pre-printed ones on those, if you buy like, I don't see that big dude that you have. Oh, maybe this is him. I'm not 100% sure, but you're looking at $50. So that's a big chunky boy, you know?
Yeah. So this first thing I'm opening was like a little freebie for 10,000, I guess, pledges. And it's just a little tiny mech guy.
Little tiny mech. He's big as the palm of your hand, but he's a little tiny mech. But
put him on that base, and I'm good to go because they all use a standardized base.
Okay, that's good. Look, Doug says the new rule book is crazy good. I have the old rule books. I will probably eventually pick up at the very least the rule book.
Wasteland.
I know we're supposed to be talking about mobile arms, but the STLs that Blacksite has look so cool. Oh, and also don't forget, for anybody that follows Bad Goblin Games, is Trailer Park Warlords of the Apocalypse is up for pre-order too.
Oh yeah. All right, so this was just a little freebie pilot packs because your guys can get out of these things.
Oh, I don't imagine that's a terribly good idea.
And I mean, these aren't to scale or anything, but they're just kind of little bonus. I mean, you could use this for, I don't know, one of the other games Black Sites does.
Violent Dark. Dude, those are straight up some Violent Dark dudes there.
There's sci-fi guy. There's a little cowboy guy. And why not, right?
Oh, Doug says they are to scale for the mechs.
They are to scale to the mechs? Oh, wow. Let me put one next to the mech. So here's the little guy. So, okay. It's like a big brother. And then I'm going to show him.
There he is. That's the one. That one's got a little bit of room in him.
That's a big chunky boy. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, so this guy, since I got him in my hand, is one of the big guys. This is a heavy frame.
Yep. That's the one that I was saying that is really, if you have a printer, so worth it. I mean, that guy's $50 or $14 if you print 2 of them yourself. You know what I mean? Definitely worth it.
Yeah, he comes with 7 modular weapons that you can change out, which is kind of cool.
Wow. And you said it's got the magnet slots too, which is really nice.
His shoulders for swapping them out.
I don't know, Doug. You're on here. Maybe you can answer this before I can find that on the website. Do y'all have magnets at Black Site too to save people the headache of trying to find them? Not that it's all that big of a headache, but I guess if you're a new modeler, it could be a little bit of a headache because you wouldn't really know where to go and look and everything to find that kind of stuff. So, yep, he does. Okay, even better. That makes it even easier.
There we go. Bam.
So, unfortunately, you won't be able to 3D print your magnets.
Yeah. But you know what? Even if you go on Amazon or, if not Black Site, you can find that stuff easy enough to have it on hand. I think I've bought stuff at the hobby store before.
Yeah, I have too, but it's like every third time I buy magnets, I end up getting the wrong size. That's why I was asking, because even as long as I've been hobbying, I won't use magnets for a year, and I'll be like, man, I can't remember what size. Doug just posted the size too. But I'll be like, I can't remember the size. I have no clue what size these were. Yeah, those guys would work good in Violent Dark.
Yeah. Kind of cool.
You got a lot of painting to do there, Slick.
Oh boy.
Look here.
Nice.
Look here, man. You got a date right here. Terrence says get it built up and he wants to play it.
Yeah, that's right. He, I think, backed it too.
All right, do it, man. I want to hear about how it plays because everybody loves a good mech game.
Yeah. So here's one of the light frames. I mean, you can't tell too much from its, print here, but I can show you guys the pictures of what they look like. So this guy comes with 7 weapons as well. Very humanoid looking, which is kind of cool.
And the weapons, each of the weapons are on the cards, right?
Yeah, I think there's different cards for each of these weapons.
All right, Terrence, thanks for joining us, brother. Good to have you. Let's bug Eric about getting this thing put together so you guys can get a game in so we can get some feedback.
Now, this one's the ferret. A lot of these have different number of parts. This one is 5 parts to build them.
Now, see, I like that guy just because he's goofy looking.
He looks like a cute little boy.
I mean, he's just kind of goofy looking, and I like that.
And I don't think I got all of them. There's more online, I think.
Yeah, there were. Hold on, let me go back there.
Which one's this one? This is a medium frame. This one's kind of cool.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 frames at the moment. It looks like. Oh, look at there. All I had to do is scroll down a little bit farther. That's a good price too on those magnets on Black Site. It's $10 for 100 of the magnets for
100. Wow.
Yep, for the 5mm by 2mm, which I'm assuming fit perfectly into the slots that they've created since they created it for that.
Yeah, that guy. Hey, he looks like a straight up transformer.
Alder said it's going to take you a few months to get paint on him first. Well, there, Eric.
You know what, Alder? I put him together in 5 minutes before the show.
Ooh, that's some kind of record for you. I'm telling you, hit him with some white or gray primer and then slap some speed paint on him. Boom, done, baby.
I mean, I barely had to clean him up at all. I mean, I glued him. I used my little accelerator, my Instaset.
There you go. And there you go for Doug's little helpful hint there that the magnets do fit there with the physical ones. If you print them yourself, just make sure you keep the scale the same for the magnets to fit nice and snug how you'll want them to. That guy looks like a big one. Is that a heavy frame? This
is a medium frame.
Really? Wow, that's a big box.
Wow, he's got 14 parts though in him.
That's a cool one.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to see this played. What's typically from when you got the demo from Corey? Typically, how many
we had
frames would you have on the table?
I think we had 3 mechs on the table, and we did like a 1 versus 2.
Okay.
And I think it was a 2x2 board, if I remember right. Let me see if it.
And was that just for the demo? Or?
It might have been for the demo. I want to see if it says in here real quick.
And so this is interesting because Eric and I were talking before we went on about scale creep in games. Now, this isn't really a scale creep because it's here, Doug is answering that question. He said it's based on tonnage. So you could have 1 to 3 frames. So that's interesting because that's very similar to BattleTech too, how BattleTech did with tonnage. Yeah. But Eric and I were talking a little bit about scale creep, and this doesn't really apply here because the pilots are 28 millimeters, so the mechs are just scaled appropriately for that. But still, that scale creep is it's a very interesting topic because it does seem like over the past couple of years, our miniatures have been getting less mini and bigger. And I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. I rather like some of the larger minis. I remember when Crisis Protocol came out, I was kind of stunned with the size of the miniatures. They were huge, but I've come to really like them in that size. And that's what I thought about this game as well, because Eric showed me the big guy. And if his pilot weren't 28 millimeter and him scaled appropriately for that. Oh, okay. Whoops. Doug lied. 32 mil. Still, that's kind of become the standard, really. I mean, 28 mil, even 40K, even though they kept lying about being 28 millimeter, they weren't for so long. They just said, whoops, we keep telling everyone it's 28 millimeter. We'll just say 28 millimeter heroic. That way it fixes it. But I think everything's kind of been that way. But for me, maybe that's a topic too to talk about down the road is the scale creep, because I really like my Crisis Protocol sized miniatures, and I like my Shatterpoint miniatures. Okay, I was trying to avoid saying that, Alder, but he hit it on the head. The older I get with my eyes, I like the bigger models.
Like the chunky boys.
The chunky boys, yeah. Primaris were the big ones, Doug, but even still, they were always larger than the 28 mil stuff. Even way back in the day when I was throwing down with so back when they were monopose, when I was playing 40K with the monopose guys, they were 28 millimeter, and when I was playing fantasy battles, like if Eric goes over to his vampire counts, they're going to be true 28 millimeter scale. You can put them next to just about any other 28 mil stuff and they look good.
So here's some of the frames that you can get. Yeah. So these big guys I didn't get all the big guys, probably because of their price, but
still, listen, I'm telling you, man,
got some terrain that you can use.
Yeah. And that looks, I was looking at the terrain. The nice thing about that terrain is it's not super specific, which makes it easy to port over into other stuff.
Easily play this in another sci-fi game.
Oh, sure. Oh, absolutely.
Retro ray gun right here.
Yeah.
And then the extra dice, magnets you talked about.
Yep. Cool. Overall, I got to say, I think Black Site has really done some cool stuff. I'm not saying this because Doug's on here. But they've made physical product available. They've got STLs available. You can do digital download stuff. They've got physical stuff you can buy. It's like they're trying to make it easy for the gamer to game.
Yeah. And all these miniatures that we were kind of oogling about and stuff, you don't need these.
Right.
Like you have a ton of mechs that you've either printed out or bought, or some of us have the old Hero Clicks.
Yep.
If Terrence was still on here, I'd be, give him an ear tug, because I know he had a bunch of those old mechs from the Hero Click days that you could do this stuff. So, they do make it like a box set like this that has everything you need in it to get going and play. And I like that the rules are fast paced. You don't have to, sit there and argue about, does it mean this way or that way? I mean, I remember doing that with Wild West Exodus a lot, that it had too much room for interpretation, you know? Whereas a lot of Black Site's rules are pretty straightforward for all their systems.
Yeah. And it's just, I just like the ease of access for it. I think that, there's not a lot of game companies that kind of run the gamut of things like Black Site does. Typically it's focused on their game. DGS games for Free Blades is a good example, right? Sorry, my dog has dementia. There's nothing I can do. I'm sorry.
He's agreeing with you.
He is. He's agreeing with me. But they're amazing, right? DGS is amazing. The way that they deal with their people, everything about the way they run their company is amazing. But they're just a one-game company. That's what I like about what Black Site has been doing over the past couple of years. It's been really fun to watch, because I remember when they were just doing terrain early, and I was buying their terrain, because I remember it took me forever to get the Knightsbridge set.
Oh yeah.
Because it was always out of stock.
Yeah,
because they were doing so well that they couldn't keep stuff in stock, so it was actually hard to get stuff from them.
I remember that first box set for Don't Look Back too. Everything was MDF, like solid MDF, that like if you didn't like somebody, you chuck one of those tokens at them. So we got some new Hamatsu terrain coming in a few weeks. I still have to build some of my Hamatsu stuff. I don't know. I have those big bridges, because part of it's like, where am I going to put this when it's built? I need some more shelves downstairs to store some of this stuff. I'm excited to see that, Doug. Catch that up. I've only built a couple of that stuff from Hamatsu too. Too much possibilities, man.
I would love to play Hamatsu. That would be awesome. I keep telling Eric, because we missed a couple of weeks for the show because internet problems and
oh my gosh,
summertime. Anyway, all that kind of stuff. I was like, well, you have internet problems. If you just move down here, we can just sit next to each other and do the show, and then we can play. So don't think that I've forgotten that you're supposed to move down here.
Yeah.
Do I have a book? No, I don't have a book. I'll pick one up eventually. But because I want to read it, and I really like the whole theme, and I think
you've got a great system for building your characters. Very RPG like to me. It's like, the different schools and how they can level up and develop new powers, and it's very cool.
Well, I also for me, looking at I'm on the Black Site website right now, and since I have a printer, that makes it really easy for me. I mean, come on, for $15 for me to get 3 miniatures to print, where am I going to get that, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that point, then did I just read that one? Oh yeah. Do you have a book? No, you have a book, don't you? Didn't you get one at you got one at Adeptagon?
No, I did the back room for
You did the back
Hamatsu.
room. Okay.
So,
Yeah. So maybe we should let's talk about doing a go through the rules for that one.
yeah.
So because for my own for my own awareness of that, I'd like to scroll through that. Maybe I can
Yeah, and that's something that me and Mac have been talking about. We want to do more of diving into some of these games and showing them off a little bit. We get them and we just, I don't know, we read them, but how fun is that for you guys to have us read it and then talk about it? We kind of want to show it off more.
Yeah. So, I mean, all the rule books that Black Site comes out with are awesome looking. So maybe I'll pick up the digital. Do we have the digital? I don't know if we have the digital one. I don't know if anybody sent it to us or anyway, we can check that out too and go back and so we'll have some stuff for you guys as we wrap this up down as we go down the road. I think I'd like to do a review of Violent Dark. Go back to that one too because I really like that game.
Yeah, and there's new Violent Dark. Well, not new, but like they did the whole treatment they did with Don't Look Back, made it all pretty and condensed a lot of the stuff and cleaned up some of the rules. And so
I don't like that stuff. You know how I like mine. Just like my boy Jordan for County Road Z, man. I have the very first edition. I think when we talked to him, he tried to jerk it back from Drive Through RPG because there were too many editing mistakes in it. And I ordered my copy before he got it out. So I have all the editing mistakes in the first edition book. And I'm happy about that. I'm glad to have that book because it's unique.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, so you could be expecting that down the road. I think we're going to start going through some product and some rule books and just talking about our opinion on them and what we think of them. And a lot of it comes from so like the reason we'll do things like Violent Dark and go back. I think we should even go back and talk about Don't Look Back. I haven't talked Don't Look Back in quite a while or even played it in a while. Is that when a game company takes care of the people that support it, that just really makes all the difference in the world, right? I mean, it just and like I said, I know. I think it might have been you who introduced me to Black Site Studio about their terrain, or I might have just found it hunting around for MDF terrain.
Might have even been Alan, because we know Alan.
It might have been. I'm not sure, but there have been many occasions where my whole basement smelled like burnt wood because there's just MDF kits all over the place.
Oh my goodness!
That's the vast majority of what I have from Black Site is.
Well, they're so fun to put together and use for. I like that you can use them for multiple games too, because they're that's the way that they're designed. They're designed to be not for specific one thing. So.
Well, one of the things I liked about it was, I don't know how we digressed this far, but yet here we are, was that I always had a hard time because when I first got into Wild West Exodus first edition, the models were 32 millimeter. And at the time, the vast majority of stuff wasn't. So when you would get your MDF buildings and you would put your cowboy in front of it, it was like Jaws from the Bond movies was every single cowboy.
Even that original terrain that they put out was that Micro Arts Studio.
Yeah, it was. But the models were massive compared to it. Yeah, and then that first set of Black Site stuff that I got, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this stuff, they look normal, even on their gigantic plinth bases. They look good. Yeah. So that was kind of where my affectation for Black Site Studios began. So
okay.
Anywho, I think that is all we have for this evening.
Yeah.
So go to blacksitestudio.com, go to the Our Games tab, and while you do not have to stop at this one, this is the one we talked about. Scroll down slightly. And check out Mobile Arms. Go to the About. You can read all about that there. They've got the physical product you can buy, digital product you can buy. There is a games resources tag for errata and FAQs, but nothing's really in there just yet. And you can check out their other games. They've got, This Is Not a Test is in back room right now. They've got Yafsiga, Don't Look Back, Lunar, Hametsu, Violent Dark, Mobile Arms, of course. And then they've got the 3 games from Malev, which is Pit Lord, Demon Ship, and 2 games, sorry. And then some resources. And see, 2 still in late pre-order, Breacher and Night Thirst.
Yeah.
So that is a whole bunch of stuff right there.
There's a lot to pick from. And I did put links for Mobile Arms in the show notes, so it gets you guys halfway there, and then you can check out all the other stuff that they got. And yeah, it's been a while since I've been on the Our Games tab, and I was just like, holy cow, look at all these stuff.
I know. Remember when it was Don't Look Back?
Yeah, it was just the one, and then it had the tabs going to the different terrain,
Yeah. Well, that's still where I spend most of my time. The terrain tabs. I think it's the which one is it? I think it's the Warzone Europe, the World War II Warzone Europe. I would buy every single one of those pieces because that would make a killer twisted board, because the theme and the time frame is very, very, very close. It's
that
not,
terrain would work for these mechs, really.
Yeah, it really would. I actually I was building a twisted custom crew for my freighter that I had been posting pictures of, and I purchased the STL files for the Mummy Hunters from Black Site and printed those for my crew. But anyway, I digress. I'll take us out.
Okay.
Since I'm the one that keeps digressing, I'll go.
It's been a while, so
I know it has been a while. We got to play catch up. Look, we're a whole 45 minutes in now. But anyway, thanks for joining us, guys. We do apologize for missing out the last couple of weeks, but sometimes life gets in the way, and that is just how things go. But we're excited to talk to you about Mobile Arms. Hope you guys enjoyed it tonight. Don't forget that we are doing our very best to expand the gaming universe one game at a time and share all that kind of stuff with you. Don't forget to smash all of the necessary buttons, the like, subscribe, the follow, the bells, the whistles, whatever there is out there. We don't know, but just go smash them. You probably know what they are. Fastest 42.5 minutes in gaming, as our good friend Todd has dubbed us. Check us out on all the podcast platforms, iTunes, Podbean, Google Podcasts, all those places. You can also check us out on YouTube, Instagram, X, Discord. Drop us a line at indieinvasion@gmail.com. We were in sync. We're like X-Men or something. And go over to the Discord. Discord's been kind of slow lately, but typically it's where a lot more is going on. Don't forget, we do have a paint challenge, monthly paint challenge that goes on over there, just sort of a way to encourage all of us to keep our painting going and share what we're working on hobby-wise, just to keep us all motivated. And we do have merchandise over at redbubble.com/people/IndieInvasion, hats, t-shirts, hoodies. You probably don't need a hoodie right now. 105 heat index here today, so I don't need a hoodie. I don't know if you need a hoodie. It's the great frozen.
No, we were in the 90s today.
Okay. So, but all kinds of stuff. There might even be bathing suits. I don't know. I'm going to have to go look now, because if there's a bathing suit, I want one.
Speedo?
No. The Indie Invasion.
Nobody wants to see that?
Just nobody. I don't want to see that. Indie Invasion trunks is good for me.
Jeez.
But thanks for joining us, guys. We'll be back next week. Who knows what we'll be talking about, but it'll probably be one of our games and going through one of the rule books and just talking about stuff that we love to do and chunky hunks of resin that we like to paint. So until next Thursday, guys, don't forget, when you're out there playing your games, painting your models, and building those chunky blocks of resin, to prepare yourself for the invasion.